Oh hey, I made a fictional species to represent all stars in the universe. Now they are all shiny anthropomorphic dragons, and my physics teacher is probably gonna kill me for it. To start this whole topic, my main project out of two is called A World of Starries, where I try to represent every single celestial body as an anthropomorphic animal. I have had this project for over 3 years now, and the whole original species thing started when I first tried to assign an animal to the sun. The easy, short-term, simple-minded answer was to make him a lion. It could represent nobility, royalty, and strength and stuff. However, the very moment I tried to use the same logic with Alpha Centauri, things started to mess up. I could not make them lions because they are too different from each other, nor make them other big cats because their spots were already taken by Jupiter and Saturn, respectively. The only solution? Make a whole entire species that later would become what I would call starries from scratch. What's the worst thing that could happen at this point? The most important thing that I am going to say is that starries will be the class they are assigned at birth during their entire life. It would not make sense for the species to devolve traits out of nowhere since they tend to cool down and lose mass during all of their lives. What I would do is to pull out this cheat sheet and select the class. For example, here are the true spectra of Deneb, Rigel, Capella, and Canopus, and here are their class. Here's an evolution graph for all the classes of stars to visualize it easily without struggling to do so. So I think that's practically all the star types. I guess it's time to actually show what the species look like. Okay, starries. They all have these characteristics, and spoiler alert, there are a lot. Now the species has an upright position, and most human-like features like plantigrade limbs and a five-finger hand with an opposed thumb. Now, going on the more specific traits, on the head, they have canine-like ears, trapezoidal eyes with black sclera, cheek fluff, and they pretty much look like wingless humanoid dragons. Honestly, pretty fitting because of the fire thing. On their hands, they have paw pads, and the central one is actually star-shaped. Their tails are quite long and end in a shiny point. To top it all, they can radiate heat, shine, and have near-human consciousness. Here is a graph that summarizes a plain starry using the sun as a staple. First, when I show you this, I say fear not. Just those two math formulas, one for height and one for the body mass index of the starry. Even though it's still kind of hard to calculate yourself, I've got a Java program that does it for you. Each starry class is actually called a breed. And now, I am just gonna say this one pretty quickly, but I have another sheet prepared, so I hope you all don't mind. They can have either 2 or 4 ears, they can have horns, they can have either 2, 3 but different, or 4 eyes. Their muzzle can be chipped, long, or wide, and they can either have a horn in the muzzle, fangs, both, or none. Their central paw pod can either have 3, 4, 5, or 6 points, or straight up not have any. And they can either have a curved tail, a normal one, or 2 regular ones. In this graph I made, it might look pretty overwhelming, but you only have to focus on the specific breed you want and then look at the traits they have. First of all, the numbers. There is an inside alphabet for the digits from 0 to 9, and it consists of bars that can be represented easily. Here are the 10 digits from 0 to 9 with some numbers written in this code. There are a lot of ways people name stars, and those are called catalogs. And no, those exoplanet names are not random. Now, the way they are reflected in star rays, it's in the pupil of their eyes. And since the same star can be in many different catalogs at the same time, just pick the most common one besides its proper name. Each of these catalogs have a recognizable pupil design that will be shown in the right eye and in the central one if they have 3. Then the number in the left eye in the code shown beforehand. The constellation each star resides in are presented as necklaces. Each of the 88 constellations, 89 if you count serpents as 2, has a unique design taken from the book 100 Year Star Diary. It's composed of a golden version of the constellation symbol with a diamond if the original symbol has a small loop on it. All of this inside a hard polycarbonate case with a titanium rope attached to it. Despite what it might look like, multiple stars within the same system are common. Take as an example Castor, which in total is a sextuple star system, just to give you an idea. Then there are the stars that appear to be the same star system, but are not, so they are given the same name with a different number. Well, now the way those cases are shown are as earrings, showing their letter or number in their left and right ear respectively. And most importantly, there are not A earrings, so single stars don't have to wear them uselessly. This edition is probably the most recent of them all, and it was a real game changer. For these stars with a proper name, I gave them futuristic-like visors. Depending on the star type, they will have one of 3 designs, which are low, medium and high mass, and their spectra are shown in the sheet. And each individual star will have a unique pupil or eye design to distinguish them from the stars. Even with a visor, they still have an eye design below, and only the most important star within a system will have it. My paranoia said this might be the most important section of the video, since I want to let everybody know that I rule my world with an iron fist. There are 9 rules, which also apply to any other World of Starries character scenario, by order.
Soy el guardián de las estrellas y me tenéis hasta los cojones.
This is because inside the World of Starries universe, I am the one that rules and manages said universe, not like a god, more like a military leader. This rule says that when I say something, either to a celestial body or someone speaking about the World of Starries, etc., I am the one with the final say. I take it very seriously, and I have even designed fictional weapons just to correct those who dissent. Even if I am not a furry anymore, I've already seen other furry made their own species like mannequins, Dutch angel dragons or wicker beasts, purposely not having any genitals, practically dull anatomy. It's the same for all starries, no genitals, no nipples, no way simulating it nor citing it, and so on. Romantic relationships are forbidden, and that includes kissing, being boyfriend or girlfriend of the other, or any attempt of doing it. I had to do it since the previous one was indeed way too harsh. But since World of Starries usually the star or star are the fathers or brothers, whatever, then the planets are their children, the moons are their grandchildren, etc. So it makes more sense to promote it. But actually not all Starries follow that rule. Looking at you, WASP-12! This one is, once again, to prevent this entire scenarios. And it also encompasses a lot of unallowed things, but most importantly, no inflation for red giants and supergiants, no war for black holes, and no embracing nor changing body types. The body mass index is always there, okay? A starry can only be declared dead after its total destruction, like a star being completely sucked into a black hole, or even less likely colliding with another star in real life. Shooting the starry inside the World of Starries universe won't do much, those things can regenerate. Since starries don't have private parts, they don't have genders either. Only the sun can be referred to as a man. I believe and also like the idea of many alternate universes coming to contact with the same celestial body of each type being in the same scenario. For example, solar balls, planet humans, and any other piece of media that has enough designs for the planets and stars. Therefore, I want my universe to be peaceful with them, mainly except Lotus Reprisal and Solar House. This one was deserved. So all of this information is very overwhelming, isn't it? Well, here is how I make a new star recursive from 0 as a reference. First of all, you get the diameter, mass, constellation, proper name, and catalog name, the star or star system if it's the case. 2. You get the height and body mass index with those 2 formulas I have shown before. Number 3. Get the breed and their physical traits that depend on it. Number 4. Get the pupil from the catalog, the constellation symbol for the necklace, and the position within the system for the earrings. Number 5. If it has a proper name, design a new visor pupil shape specifically for the star. Number 6. You draw it. And that would be it. Thank you for staying up here until the end.